Welcome back, basketball fans. This is Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast, brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. Go check them out today. If you're in the Houston area, then go check out Celebrity Mint. Go to celebritymint.com and see our awesome collectibles that Celebrity Mint has done. They did Jamal Shed just a few weeks ago. They've had Mike Tyson, got Pete Rose. They got all the collectibles, all the coins that you could want for your home office, for your collection. Go to celebritymint.com and use code Apollo, HOU, at checkout. Thank you to our sponsors. Show looks a little different today. Josh Garcia is not the one sitting next to me on the screen. They never actually sit next to me. Actually, we're always doing this virtual. But we've got newcomer Sheldon Norrid here on the Apollo NBA podcast, Zero Gravity. Welcome to the show, bud. How are you doing?
Hey, man. Glad to be here. Doing great. How are you?
Dude. So we're recording this Tuesday, October 29th at a little after 9 p.m. And I just watched basically what I watched in May for 5 games in the Western Conference Finals. Dallas Mavericks, Minnesota with Timberwolves. It was the exact same thing. It was the exact same game. It was awesome. I enjoyed not every second of it, but I enjoyed a lot of it. I did think Luka died at one point right before halftime. I thought his knee got blown out. And then I watched Anthony Edwards basically tear his knee and also just stay in the game. Like superheroes. They're superhumans. It's incredible. Like they both tore their knees. Like they both have torn ACLs and just came right back out. It's incredible.
Yeah. Luka legit couldn't put weight on his leg.
No, he had to get help from Marquise Morris. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I was in shambles. I was like, this team is good enough to win like 42 games now without Luka for the rest of the year. That's not going to be fun. And then he came right back out for shoot around in the second half. So everything's fine.
And, made a shot from Arlington.
Yeah,
basically.
in Minnesota.
Well, I guess they're in Minnesota. St. Paul? I don't know.
I don't know the cities in Minnesota. Hand up.
I know two.
It's Minneapolis and St. Paul. That's then they're the same city. It turns out they're the twin cities. Learned that recently in the last few years. I was like, makes sense. I get it now. Twins.
The more you know.
Yeah, but we haven't been here in about a week. It's been about a week of NBA action that we've had. Full week now. I think the season kicked off on Tuesday of last week. So basketball's been on our screens. Basketball's been on our computers, TVs, iPads, wherever you watch NBA basketball. It's been on. It's been on incessantly.
Everything.
I can't turn it off. I won't turn it off. I was literally at the Stars game in the press box, had the Mavericks game on one of my tabs. So I was like, I can't quit it.
Yeah.
I got hockey in real life.
As you should.
An NBA on my computer. Can't help it. But we'll kick it off with the topic that everybody's kind of talking about right now, and they can't help it because it's the Lakers. Everybody talks about the Lakers. ESPN,
of course,
The Ringer. Everyone will talk about the Lakers until the Lakers cease to exist. Are they
financially obligated to?
Yeah, I think that's a part of it. But they might actually just be good at basketball because they changed their head coach. It's the exact same team, and they changed their head coach, and now they're incredible at basketball. I think maybe.
Yeah, well, it's almost the exact same team. You're forgetting notable rookie LeBron James Jr.
Yeah, he played a solid 3 minutes in the first game of the year for them. The Timberwolves immediately went on a 7-0 run, and JJ said, "All right, we've got our photos, we got the video of them coming in together. This is it. We got it. We did what we needed to do, and now he's done." But apparently, he's coming in tomorrow. Apparently, he's going to play tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, if he's on the roster and he can be a warm body in an 82-game season where you're employing Anthony Davis and LeBron James at almost 40 years old, you might as well just throw him out there for a few minutes. Just let someone else cool off or whatever. I don't know. Send him down to the G League. Honestly, people have talked about it enough, but I think they handled it like as good as they could have.
100%.
Put him in early in the game. Yeah, put him in early in the game. Like you said, get your photos, whatever. Let them have their moment. I was watching that with some serious LeBron haters, and they were so annoyed. And I was just like, come on, can you not just enjoy a moment? Do you have to hate everything?
No, objectively, it's the most cool thing you could do in the NBA. If you've been in the league for 21 years, you scored 40,000 points, you've won 4 MVPs, you've won 4 titles, 4 finals MVPs. You've done objectively everything there is to do in this game that other people have never done. And then all of a sudden your son gets to come in the game with you. And it's never been done before in the NBA. So he made it another historical moment. LeBron James. He can't stop making historical moments. It's awesome.
Yeah. Just by having kids, apparently.
Yeah. Good for him.
But yeah, they actually look good. at the time, now I don't really keep up with assistant coaches. Maybe that's a fatal flaw in my NBA fandom. But when they hired Darvin Ham, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Sounds like I'm all for giving an assistant coach like a shot, whatever. And man, yeah, I guess he was just actually horrible. Like not a scapegoat, actually just bad.
Have you seen
And
the screen grab of him on the sideline during a pivotal moment in the fourth quarter? And they're like, play tough, but don't foul. And that's what he wrote on the clipboard. Like, he didn't drop a play at all. He didn't just do anything. He said, play tough, don't foul.
no, I
That's what he
missed
wrote on
that.
the clipboard.
I
That
love
was
it.
last season. I
Yeah,
don't know when it was, but someone screen grabbed it and they're like,
amazing.
I can't believe we went from this to JJ Redick, who's an actual NBA coach, and
Yeah,
he's never coached before in his life.
dude, for real. It's like it's the best case scenario. Like everything you would have thought he would be from the love of the game or whatever the pod was with
Yep.
LeBron, from his old man and three stuff, just like being a total hoop head nerd. It's like actually working. And it turns out knowing how to run plays and actions with your good players, it helps you win games. So yeah, I'm like I've got my eye on some teams that are trying to get to the playoff play-in for the first time, and I'm trying to pick like who's going to be stuck in the play-in, who's going to be a first team out, and I'm like maybe the Lakers based on last year. But now I'm like, no, dude, they're going to be a top 6 at least, as long, like barring injury. I'm like I'm nervous for my team being near the bottom. Like that's one less team that's going to be easy out.
Yeah, that's a tough situation to be in if you're a Rockets fan, where you should be making the leap this year into it, minimum to play in. Hopefully, the top 6 for you Rockets fans. I know everyone in the chat is just all the in the Apollo NBA
We're
chat.
hopeful.
Everyone is like, "Oh, we're good," and I don't know if you're good yet. You could be very good in the next. Give it 20 games. Let me see 20 games, and then we'll see about the
Yes,
Rockets. I won't say anything yet.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a 20 game guy.
yeah,
I'm a 20 game guy. Let me get to like Christmas,
I,
see what's happening.
yeah. I think it's fair. I mean, they gave you a season of being the best 11 seed ever. If they're not in the West, then they make the playoffs.
Correct.
But that's the problem, is they are in the West, and so it doesn't matter
No.
what would happen if they weren't. So yeah, it's brutal. But I almost said the Suns, the Lakers look legit, and I am excited on one level, even though I'm nervous for my team. I am excited to see LeBron actually get to be the basically point guard of a competent offense, and for AD to actually get to be the go-to guy in a lot of situations, with a coach that actually knows how to use his skill to make him a rim runner, to help him spot up when necessary, to be the initiator of some actions and not just like limit him in so many like weird ways doing this fake pseudo free-flowing offense thing. There was one, like their first game, people, were just like nerding out, sharing so many clips. And I think they ran one play that had like 4 or 5 actions in it, it felt like. And it ended in like a backdoor cut for Austin Reeves or Connect, one of the white guys. And I was like, that's just beautiful. And with that roster, they can do just that every time.
It is marveling what happens when you have like a competent person telling the players to run certain plays, like, and like that actually work for the personnel that they have on the team. Like, yes, Anthony Davis is objectively in his prime. He was one of the best players on the Olympic team this past summer. Like, he was the number 1 center behind an MVP guy that had to start for some obligation for no reason, even though he's not even technically American. Like, he has like multiple passports. What are we doing here? I didn't get that. That was summertime talk.
It's above my pay grade.
Me and Josh talked about that all summer. It was ridiculous. But objectively, one of the best players on the Olympic team, including LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, etc. Like, an incredible team. Anthony Davis is one of those guys that was just, he's the best guy. And when you have one of those guys on your team that's not 40 years old, yeah, maybe let's run the offense through him. I don't know. It's just spitballing here. I get LeBron is your number. He's your 1B. But if LeBron's going to go 6 for 6 with 16.6 boards and 5 assists in the fourth quarter the other night, like he did like a few nights ago, yeah, I think you're going to win a few games. I think so, with competent coaching and competent role players. Like, Dalton Connect looks good. Austin Reeves looks like he's taking another leap to, I don't know what he's going to be, but he's a solid NBA player, and that's more than what the Lakers had 3 years ago.
Yeah, and it looks like they're figuring out how to use Hachimura too.
Yeah.
Like, he's looked pretty good. I mean, he's no superstar or anything like that. He might not ever live up to that crazy prospect ranking and stuff that he had, those aspirations on the Wizards, but they're using him, and he's using his big body to get rebounds, run of the rim. He just looks good, and that's more than you've been able to say about him for a couple years now. So
Yeah.
they should be excited. And D'Lo, I don't know
He's never been
how good I
horrible,
would say he looks,
but
but he's not a problem.
right. How long can
And
we
that's
prolong
good.
that?
That feels like a win.
How long
Yeah,
can that be
that's
prolonged?
the
That's the situation we're in. The last thing on the Lakers,
yeah.
Bill Simmons, Chris Ryan, Waz, and the actual smart person in the room, Mahoney, were on a podcast.
Mahoney, yeah.
What was that? Friday, Thursday? Friday it came out, I think. They were talking NBA, and
Yeah.
Chris Ryan was
Thursday or
like,
Friday.
Ant Edwards is my favorite player to watch. Like, he does this, he does that, he talks shit all the time. Did you see he told Bronny to not even take a shower because he's not sweating? The way I audibly laughed in my car for
Yeah.
minutes on end when I saw that, because what he was referencing was an NBA Centel tweet. And if you're unfamiliar with NBA Twitter,
The legend.
you need to get on NBA Twitter, one. But two, NBA Centel is a parody account that just makes things up, essentially. Just tells lies on the internet and get for clicks. And it's incredible because the amount of people that get Centelled, and now it's on an actual podcast that makes tons of money and is widely listened to, is a Bill Simmons podcast, and Chris Ryan's telling them, and then they're all like, oh yeah, I saw that, that's awesome, that was hilarious, and they all got Centelled. Incredible.
Oh dude, it was just so good. Like, you can't make it up. It was just perfect. It caught me off guard. I remember seeing it as a Centel and be like, oh, that's pretty funny. It like got me for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like something Ant would say.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't sound fake.
No,
so that's
an
obviously why it's so
objectively
believable.
Ant statement. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Chris Ryan said that. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is kind of funny, but why does that feel like it's not real? And then I saw it come up again, someone clipping him. I think it was Centel clipping that he got Centel.
Yeah, I think him and the Reddit Bill Simmons pod Twitter account is just, it's always all over the Bill Simmons pod and just pointing out everything that he's wrong about. It's awesome. I live for it. But enough about teams up on the up. Let's talk about teams on the downfall. The Denver Nuggets and the Milwaukee Bucks. Are they just the one and done, like multiple MVP winners, incredible players, top of the game, like top 3, top 4 players objectively in the game right now, with teams that aren't working anymore? Like, they just don't work anymore. They're old or they're bad. It doesn't make any sense. Denver and Milwaukee, they're on the downfall right now. Obviously, we're 1 week into the season. This is an overreaction to it.
Yeah.
This could change, but for how they've looked, like that Denver Clippers game on Saturday, did you watch it?
Mm-hmm. I saw parts of it, but they just looked outmatched by a team that is missing 2 of its, or has Kawhi been on the team? Who knows? But someone who fills a roster spot.
Yeah, he's on the team.
And then obviously no more Paul George.
Yeah, and James Harden had what, tough. 19 and like 16 assists or something, like outrageous. Like, wasn't like it wasn't like a marveling James Harden game where he puts up 40 and 20. Like, it was a solid James Harden game where he wasn't shooting from the field very well, but he was able to get assists. He got enough points. He was getting to the line. Jokic had 40 in the game, but Jamal Murray couldn't really do anything. Michael Porter Jr. literally could not do anything. I think he made 1 or 2 shots, and he shot 15, 16 times. And it's just, the whole team just seems dysfunctional on Denver. And then Milwaukee, I haven't watched a second of Milwaukee. Hand up. I don't really enjoy watching Giannis play basketball. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he is incredible.
Yeah.
He's objectively incredible. And as much fun as it was to be a Rockets fan when him and Harden were going back and forth and Harden said he wasn't skilled, he is incredibly skilled at the rim. Like, one of the best finishers ever. Obviously, one of the best two-way players ever. But it's just like, it's not enough. I was listening to someone today, I think it was the Ringer NBA group chat. They were talking about how they want him to play more like AD, but he thinks he's LeBron. Like, he thinks they basically want him to be a more traditional big, and he's trying to play like a wing. And stuff like that. But I don't even think it's necessarily like, I don't think he's the problem. I think it's just the rest of the roster. Damian Lillard obviously cannot play defense the way that they are accustomed to with Drew Bledsoe. And then even going
Holiday.
Drew Holiday. And then even going back to when they had Bledsoe, he just like cannot be a point of attack defender. Chris Middleton is getting old. They just like, they look like they are out of gas. And I feel worse about them than the Nuggets because we've got last year too of them flaming out. And then even I guess in 2022, who'd they lose to in 2022 in the playoffs? Do you remember? That wasn't the Heat, was it?
Was that Boston?
It may have been.
It was Jason Tatum, wasn't it? And he went for like 50. Game 6? Game 7? Maybe?
I don't remember. One of the two. But basically, since they won the championship, it just seems like they've kind of been on the decline.
Yeah, they had
Denver
the perfect storm that year, but
yeah. Everything worked at the right time. Everything clicked at the right time, and then they played a team that choked, and then did the same thing again.
Chris Paul was on that team. We don't have to go into that much deeper. Yeah. It's Chris Paul.
Yeah, yeah. Denver is weirder, and I feel much better about being patient with them because they have Nikola Jokic. They have guys who have been difference makers more recently. For some reason, it seems like they really miss KCP. I don't know. Yeah. That feels like a weird player to like just really miss.
But he plays really good defense for a team that doesn't have a lot of good defenders. So
and he shoots
attack guy. He was the guy that put on the best ball handler or the best player. Like he was their KD guy. Yeah. He was their Ant Edwards guy. Like he was able to guard kind of 1 through 4 for the most part. And now they don't have that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they've wanted Brown to be the Bruce Brown era, and I think Brown is good. I think he's played really well for a bench guy, but I don't know if he has like the same kind of connectivity instincts, like to be able to be like an initiator, get the ball around to everybody. He's a solid defender, solid playmaker, but he's obviously not able to make up for it. And then you said Michael Porter Jr. has just been bad,
not good at all.
I'm in a fantasy basketball league, and I was drafting from the sleeper app from my phone in a Shake Shack, which is my fault.
Yeah, hand up.
So I'll own that. We were like halfway through the draft, and my app just like totally crashed out. I was trying to draft a center because the way our league is run, it makes sense to have guys who get rebounds. Yeah. And I think it was Valanciunas or something, and MPJ was the next guy in the queue, and everyone was passing him up for like an entire round. App crashes out. It says something about the server, and then next I see MPJ is on my roster. And I was texting the commissioner like, you have to fix this. Like I was losing my mind. I was like, I will not have MPJ on my roster. He's just not good, and Jamal Murray looks like he's like lost a step in a big way.
Yeah, his shot kind of fell apart at the end of last season and through the Olympics. And it's not like Jason Tatum where he comes out of the gates just doing things after the Olympics where he's doing the same thing. He hadn't found it yet. And if he finds it, then sure, the Nuggets are going to win 50 games, and then we're off and running. We're going to be a top 4 seed, yada, yada, yada. However, I don't know when we're going to see that Jamal Murray. Like, not playing the Lakers every night where he gets to shoot a game-winning buzzer beater every time. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. I don't know. He's just not there. He's non-existent. Like, he's even out there and he's getting hit in the head. He's playing hard and all this stuff, and just he can't get a shot to fall. But MPJ, funny story about him. I went to Mississippi State, SEC boy. I saw Missouri play Mississippi State. I think it was 2018. Went to a basketball game. I was like, I'm going to watch Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. was not playing basketball at that point. His back was non-existent. He just didn't play the whole year. And I realized that as I entered the arena. I was like, MPJ is definitely not playing. And he's like top recruit. See him. He's just sitting on the sideline on the court, basically just using a hypervolt all over his legs. It's like the little massage gun. That's just what he was doing the whole time. The whole game, no high fives, no nothing, just hypervolting on the side. I was like, good for you, man. You get to travel the country, do the best SEC stadiums. Man,
get your scholarship.
Go to college for free. Probably got some money under the table because it was pre-NIL, and then you get to go be a lottery pick. Sure. Good for you, MPJ. I mean, all-time bag getter, all-time bag finesser. Love MPJ for that.
Yeah, I mean, who am I? Who am I to judge someone?
Hey,
for getting their paper,
And his brother's
But
gonna go to jail probably, his whole thing, and
oh yeah,
the whole gambling thing. He's banned from the
well,
NBA. Can he even go to an
didn't he have
arena
like?
now? He gambled on himself.
Oh,
He told all of
probably
his
not.
buddies to like hit the under on his stats. Now there's like a
Yeah,
whole
they're like
rule. Like
changing under rules. Yeah,
it's crazy.
it's like no unders for bench players or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's insane.
Insane.
Yeah, Denver and Milwaukee. I'm gonna keep an eye on. I'm
Yeah.
with the 20 game rule. I'll see till Christmas if we're still at Christmas and we're still seeing the same things. The other thing with Milwaukee, last thing, Doc Rivers was their head coach.
Oh yeah, dude, he's so
That is an
bad.
issue. It's a real big issue.
Yeah, losing record since he's been the coach.
Yeah, it's incredible that you had a coach that was 30-13. No matter if anyone liked him on the team or not, I know they had an easier schedule. They're in the East, yada yada yada. They were still 30-13. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good record.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's fine.
And then you're like, yeah, Doc Rivers, the guy that hasn't coached in years, has been on the sidelines on ESPN on like Friday nights, which did give us JJ Redick, which was much better. And now JJ Redick is gone, and he's a coach. But yeah, whatever. Denver, Milwaukee, downfall. Another upswing with the Boston Celtics, defending NBA champions. They hung their banner a week ago today. They decided not to iron the banner.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or steam it. Like, did we not try? Like, the Rangers, when they put up their banner and it was like folded over and they couldn't get it to hang right, and it wasn't like a real banner, it was like a flag, and I was like, what are we doing here? Nothing could get worse than this. The Celtics hung a banner that was just straight out of the packaging. They didn't even open it.
Yeah. It's got the fold. It's not even like someone, left it on the floor somewhere and it got bunched up. It's got the little squares.
Yeah, no, that was literally just straight out of the packaging. Didn't throw it in the dryer or anying just to try to get some wrinkles
that's
out.
right.
I think the old, I have 10 minutes till I need to leave. Let's throw this in the dryer for 10 minutes and hope that it gets some of the wrinkles out. Yeah, they didn't do that. But
someone's wife did not get an eye on that banner.
No, not a chance. A woman looked at it and was like, yeah, let's do this. That's women talk on this podcast. We're both happily married and it's perfectly fine.
We love ironing.
Really good at it. I had to learn, but Boston looks really good. They hit threes at an alarming rate. Them going for the 3-point record, the single game 3-point record on opening night, was absolutely hilarious. They needed one more three throughout the entire fourth quarter, and they missed all of them, like 13 or 14 threes. And then they didn't even go for it. They had another possession, and they just dribbled it out. And I was like, cowards. Just to heave it.
Didn't they miss, if I remember right, they got to they tied the record. Mm-hmm. Didn't they miss like several in a row?
13.
And then I guess
it was fine. 13. The entire fourth quarter.
It was something crazy.
They just had to hit one in the entire fourth quarter, and they missed all 13, and then dribbled out the clock when they had a possession and took the shot clock violation. Instead of just heaving it. Like, get down to the 2 seconds and just chuck it. Just see.
Yeah.
Just try.
No one will care.
Cowards. They don't want to win anything. They don't have Kristaps Porzingis right now either. He'll probably be back in January. And they look. I mean, obviously they struggled with the Pistons, but it's the regular season and games happen like that.
Sure.
Every team can win games, and even the Pistons can win games sometimes. They won 13, 14 of them last year. It was incredible. They won that many. But yeah, they just hit threes. Everyone's open. Everyone's playing help defense. Like, everyone's good at defending as well. It's an issue. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to run away with the East. It'll be a cakewalk. They'll be able to rest Brown or Tatum whenever they want, just one or the other, and just go to town. They've got, like, Peyton Pritchard looks nice. Like, he had some moments last year, but, like, I'm just like, there's just like the most random people I've written off in the NBA are like performing so well. Sorry, this is a Peyton Pritchard note that I have to talk about. I was watching a highlight from one of his games earlier, and they started calling whenever, because he's like famously hitting end of quarter threes now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Apparently it's like a thing.
It is.
They started calling it the Pritching hour.
That's good.
As opposed to the witching hour. I was like, that's good. He just yelled it into the mic.
I don't like that.
Like, that's pretty good. But here's some Jason Tatum stats for you. This is like the main reason I'm nervous. Like, if they repeat whatever, parity is fun, but also dominant teams can be like a little fun sometimes. I don't know. But I watched starting five. So sorry, last year they win the championship. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jason Tatum, you're good, but you're so corny. Like it couldn't be worse.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the show Starting Five on Netflix. I'm like, I think I like him. Like I think he's a likable guy. I guess you felt different. I haven't finished the show, but I was like, maybe corny is just like who he is. Like kind of
Yes.
same thing with
No.
LeBron. It's like
To his core.
it makes it like it feels genuine that he is kind of corny, if
LeBron
that
is
makes sense.
cornier than Jason Tatum. Having finished
Yes, and
starting
he's old,
five,
so he gets away with
he
it.
can do whatever
Yeah.
he wants. He is like literally one of the most famous people in the world. Like he is going to objectively just be a strange person because he deals with things us normal people will probably never ever deal with. Like normal people cannot like just fathom what he's been through just with paparazzi and being 6'8". Like that being 6'8", you already stand out in a crowd, and then being the best basketball player in the world for 20 straight years is another problem to deal with it. So yeah, LeBron's cornier. Tatum, I can see why you said he's likable. I'm a big Duke guy. I went to Mississippi State, but I grew up with I like Duke basketball because you kind of have to pick one in the UNC Duke battle. Like when you grow up in Alabama and you're a Florida Gator fan and all this. Like I grew up a Gator fan and their teams were fun and they won the 2 national titles, but I love JJ Redick, and it's because I'm a short white dude and I identified with the white basketball players. That's literally all it is as a child. So Dirk Nowitzki, JJ Redick stood out immediately just because I liked them. They were just white dudes. So I'm a Duke guy. Out of all the years of watching Duke, Jason Tatum and Brandon Ingram are my 2 least favorite Duke players of all time. I don't know what it was. I didn't like them the entire time that they were at Duke, and they were good. They weren't like, I mean, obviously they didn't win a title in either of those years, so I didn't like them because of that. But I don't know what it was. It was just like sometimes you don't like a guy for no reason at all.
Yeah,
those 2 guys, I've leaned on. And then he got drafted to Boston. I was like, immediately, no, I hate this.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I've been like a Jason Tatum detractor. Every time he's like top 5 MVP voting, I'm so annoyed because of the shot mostly. Like he is obviously a great player,
on par with the people that are winning MVP, and that's his problem,
right?
Because he's on a great team.
I pass with flying colors, but yeah, those counting stats. But this year, the shot was broken. He couldn't get any minutes because Kerr wanted him to stand in a corner or something. I don't know. Whatever it was, it worked for Kerr. But true shooting percentage, 64.2%. Career high usage. So his best ever true shooting percentage with his most usage ever. Pretty great. 42% from 3.
Yeah.
On 11 attempts.
That's pretty good. They get wide open threes every possession. And now I'm feeling what that's like.
But he was missing those before.
Yeah. I'm now feeling that with the Mavericks and Klay Thompson. The spacing is just, and we had the spacing last year. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. was just taking those threes last year, and he would have the 0 for 11 games. And you're like, why did he play 24 minutes? There's just no reason for that. The Celtics are that, but all of their players just make the threes for the most part. They're all shooting like a 40% clip, probably. Like it's ridiculous. They just get open threes. They play good defense, and they're a great team. It's terrible. I hate Boston.
Yeah. Another thing that's totally fine. I'm kind of in a Boston moment. Obviously, I'm not like rooting for them or whatever, but because of 2 guys, because it's the Jason Tatum. Yeah, that's right. It's because I've been back on the Bill Simmons grind.
I know. He's having a moment.
No, he makes me dislike the teams he likes. Yeah. Tatum comeback story is fun, but also Joe Mazzulla is just like a sicko. He's like in the best way.
He's asking the NBA for fights. Like, let's just bring fights back. Let's get rid of all the rules and fights.
We need to see more fights. Oh, it's so good. He said, here's a quote for you. You probably heard it. We're either going to win or we're not. And 40 years from now, none of you are invited to my funeral, and that's it.
Yeah, it's nothing matters. We're all going to die one day mentality.
Yeah.
And I love it about him. I talked a lot of shit about him last year, and then all of a sudden he wins the title, and he starts making all these quotes, and I was like, he's the one Celtic where I'm like, I don't know. I like the cut of this guy's jib. I just whatever it is.
He seems like a good dude. How much can you actually know about these guys? Right. But he seems like the players all really like him. The city likes him. When he's winning, and then he's just like a true basketball psycho, and it's Oh, it's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Love it.
Whatever. That's enough Boston talk for me.
Fair enough.
Another team in the East, the Orlando Magic. They're on the up and up. I had a lot of.
Yeah.
I was in their preseason like, hey, last season, they're gonna be pretty good this year, and everyone's like, it's the Magic. I don't know about that. What were they, the 5 seed last year? Pretty good. Paolo
Yeah,
Banchero.
4 or 5. Yeah, 5.
Paolo Banchero, 50 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists in a win against the Indiana Pacers on Monday night. I saw a guy. There's this guy that tweets out his prize picks of the day all the time, and he's like got 150,000 followers. I just used to tail some of them, and then I lost all my money, so I just stopped doing it.
Yeah, sure.
He hit the under on Paolo Banchero or the less than, sorry, prize picks, less than on 37.5 points, rebounds, assists on Monday night, and Paolo had 36 points at halftime. So he just needed 2 rebounds or 1 assist, 1 rebound. He had that in the first half, and then he put up 50, 13, and 9. I think this is the leap that everyone was kind of hoping about Paolo coming into this season.
Yeah.
He's got it, turns out. I know the Pacers aren't good on defense. 50 points is not like just an easy thing to do night in and night out.
It doesn't matter who you're playing. 50 points is legit. And he almost had a 50-point triple-double, which I think has only been done by it's like less than 20 players or less than 20 times.
It, like Harden and Luka a couple of times each?
I looked it up earlier. It's like it's the usual suspects. It's like Luka has done it once. Harden's done it like 5 times. Westbrook did it a few times. Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain,
Naturally.
like those guys. And so he's like one was it rebound or assist away from being in that like just elite company in year 3.
Yeah, pretty good.
It's crazy.
Pretty good. Sorry, Rockets fans, for talking about Paolo. You
dude.
all thought you were getting him that night. Man, all the boys were like, man, Paolo's so good.
He's on such a high horse.
Yeah. You got Jabari Smith Jr., though.
Yeah. He's not nothing.
I love poking fun. I'm trying to bring back Texas hate in the group chats now. I'm just trying to get the Houston, San Antonio, Dallas rivalry just really going again, because it's been a rough 5 years or so where we haven't, or maybe 10 years. It's been a while since we've had like a true Texas rivalry between the 3 teams. I'm trying to just bring that back. So I poke fun at Rockets fans. I didn't do that last year. I was rooting for the Rockets. I wanted them to do well. Wanted them to show up in the playoffs against my Mavericks.
Nice of you.
Then I could start talking shit. This season, it's changed. I am talking as much shit as possible about the Rockets just to see reactions. Really, that's all it is. I just want to see everyone's reaction. So I'm sorry. You have the hat on. I can't help it.
No, I welcome it.
All right.
I've lived in Dallas for 10 years. Some of my best friends are Mavs fans. I'm in a Discord with the football fandom is all over the place, but it's pretty much Mavs fans, a Spurs fan, and me.
Yeah, that's good.
So I hear it all the time. Too bad for them the Discord didn't exist in the pre-Luka years, because I would have been just walking back and forth. But, it didn't. And so now here we are. But I don't know. It just makes it even sweeter whenever we steal a game like on Halloween in a couple days or something like that. And, all the Mavs fans are expecting to win and still won on the road.
All I remember
is what it is.
Last season, Luka hit the shot off the backboard in pregame. He just threw it up not off the backboard, the scoreboard. He threw it all the way up there, and then it bounced directly into the rim. Like, just swished it right off of the scoreboard. Like, I was like, Luka's going for 50 tonight. He literally, I think he had 50. That it was in March or whatever, and y'all were on the high horse, like Jalen Green.
I may have been
going on a run, or it was like 48 or something. Like, he just went bananas in the first half. He had the layup 3-pointer on Dylan Brooks, where there's the end of the shot clock, and he just dipped under Dylan Brooks and just laid it in underhand from the 3-point line. Yeah, it was that night. So
that was so stupid.
That was so good. That's great. When Luka just hits a crazy trick shot in pregame, it's going to be a good night. But Paolo had the good night the other night, and I'm excited to see what happens for the full year of year 3. I mean, they got KCP, so they've got their defender. They've already played mean defense, and then they just added another just dog of a defender into their lineup. And they're like, here you go, bud. Have the keys. And it turns out they don't really need a point guard. I would love for them to have a real point guard. Trey Jones would have been awesome there. Just one of the Jones brothers. Just get one of those guys, and he's your starting point guard. It would have been incredible, but he's playing well for the Suns. So It is what it is. But yeah, the Magic look good. Paolo
Oh,
looks awesome.
Tyus.
Yeah, Tyus. So
yeah, I think he's getting picked on defense, so I could see why with their identity they probably wouldn't want him. And I think they have high hopes for Anthony Black.
yeah,
The jury's still out. He's looked okay this year,
he'd be fine.
but he's still the shooting is a problem. But we'll see if he ever gets good. Man, he's basically slow Amin Thompson. Like
Yeah.
he's just super long and cerebral. But yeah, they look good. Paolo looks incredible. I cry every night thinking about how I thought the Rockets were going to get him, and he's just like can literally do everything except for shoot consistently, and it looks like he's getting
improved
a
on
little
that.
better there. So
Yeah. No, he's an all-around guy. I love Paolo. Last thing, Netflix starting 5. We've already mentioned it a little bit on this show. Season 1 came out like at the beginning of this month. It was a solid show. I finished out all 10 episodes or 8 episodes, whatever it was, and it was a good time. I enjoyed it because I was missing the NBA. It was like week or two before the season starts when it comes out, so you're kind of craving basketball content a little bit more than you normally would. And it was a good show. They announced today, I believe, Netflix's starting 5. Season 2 is confirmed. The lineup is James Harden, Kevin Durant, Tyrese Halliburton, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jaylen Brown. Sheldon, give your thoughts before I tear this apart.
Oh, man. Oh, well, if you're going to tear it apart, I don't know what to say. I cannot wait. Harden has been like the weirdest NBA celebrity, I feel like, because he feels like he's pretty private. But then, you get snapshots of him at the strip club and like weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like getting to look into his life off the court, even in like some way for an entire year, like, am I just going to see him hanging out with Lil Baby all the time? Or I don't know. I'm really curious as someone who's been kind of private. KD's kind of the opposite. Like, you feel like he wears everything on his sleeve. Like, it doesn't feel very private, but could be cool. Tyrese Halliburton, love Tyrese Halliburton, the player. Like, he's a great league pass player. I'm not
super care about his personal life. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Shai, kind of similar. Like, I don't know. He seems like a cool guy. I'm sure obviously he's super competitive. That could be fun to get into his head, but I don't know. And then Jaylen Brown feels like the wild card. Like, could be awesome, and then could be kind of forgettable. It feels kind of weird to do a season of Tatum and then a season of Brown.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll get to see what it's like for him to like truly be in Tatum's shadow this year. If Tatum's like really taking this like next step leap, maybe that'll be interesting. Brown also does a lot of like community work on the side.
He's
and
incredibly
super
smart.
Involved, so.
Like, he went to Cal Berkeley, like turned down Harvard and all these places. Yeah, he's a smart guy. So that'll be interesting just to see how weird he is off the court with all the smart knowledge he has up in his brain.
But anytime you're going from, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, like some of the most interesting personalities, and obviously Sabonis is like your straight man. Like,
he was the one that I was like, why is he on?
He was the Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, the Kirk Cousins.
He was the Kirk Cousins
was good
of this season.
Sabonis was good. His time was fine. Like, he did. Yeah, like, he's just the typical family man that plays basketball. That's really good. So.
Yeah.
But you also have.
What do you think? You hate it?
So you have Anthony Edwards and LeBron James and Jimmy Butler. So you have 3 incredible personalities. Incredible personalities, especially Ant and like LeBron, because we've never gotten to see like behind the scenes LeBron, like at his house and getting ready for Halloween. Like, you see all this stuff when it comes out, but like all the stuff that's happening before and everything, and the Christmas Day, before the Christmas Day game, and all that kind of stuff. That part's incredible because he's the best player we've ever seen in our lives. Maybe for the rest of time. Like, he's objectively the first or second best player of all time. Probably the best player of all time, but doesn't have 6 rings, and everyone's going to pull that into conversation. So
I'm with you.
James Harden is the interesting one here because of his off the court antics, I guess is what you would call that. Just his hobbies off the court is going to be really funny for Netflix because they can kind of show a lot of things that a lot of people can't show. They're kind of just like the new HBO. KD, I don't feel is that interesting because he says it all on Twitter. Like, he's just going to tell you regardless. Like, he doesn't care. Tyrese Halliburton, don't care. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, don't care. I don't want to see the OKC post game conference on the court where the whole
Oh,
team,
yeah.
like, that's gonna happen like 20 times in the show, and I'm just gonna be like, why are we
Mhm.
doing this? Jaylen Brown, I guess the storyline, defending champs. Tatum is the best player on the team, but Jaylen Brown did just win Finals MVP and he was the best player on the team in that series. Not the best player in the
Yeah.
series, but that's fine. Other than that, yeah, I was texting Josh about this earlier. I know Josh isn't here, but you got to have Joel Embiid in there. You have to. You have to match
Oh,
the
yeah.
Ant personality. He's not young anymore. Joel Embiid's 30 or whatever, but you got to have the personality, the kind of a heel, the wrestling heel. Like, he does all of those things correctly,
Yeah.
and he's one of the best players in the world. So that one works. Steph Curry, how did we miss on this?
Yeah. That's what I
To
was
match the
thinking.
LeBron, like, you got to have that. And then the other couple things, why are we not having a Nick? Why is there not a New York Nick in here? You could do Cat, you could
Yeah.
do Brunson. One of those two, I think, would have been awesome. Cat probably would have worked because he saw it with Ant last season, like how it worked and everything. Maybe it works that way. And then Ja Morant in Memphis. Also the
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards kind of direction there. But you got
Yeah.
to have
I wonder
like
if
two of
they
those guys if you're going to put Halliburton and Shea in here. Like, they're not
Yeah.
like,
I wonder
Shea's
if they
incredible,
stay
but
away.
I don't know.
Yes, Shea's so good, and I feel like maybe I wonder if there's a little bit of like Mavs played them in the playoffs, so I hate them a little bit now
Yeah, maybe. I don't
in
know.
there.
I don't know.
But maybe they're staying away, keeping their
Trying to
distance
help
for
him
now
out
because the whole
probably more so is what it
gun
is.
thing. Yeah, but he would be must see TV.
Yeah.
Um, oh, who's the other one? Steph is like a no brainer. That's who I have been a Steph hater for so much of his superstardom, and he won me over in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I can like him now. He's still gonna hurt my team badly the next time we see him, and he's probably gonna do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But I just like I'm gonna enjoy it before he's gone. And he just double rolled his ankle, so we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
think
yeah,
you have to have Steph in there because how many more Steph seasons are we getting? We don't know. Or how many Steph seasons are we going to
yeah,
have in Golden State before it doesn't matter and he goes to Charlotte, like, just goes home. The first year without Klay Thompson, Steve Kerr is seemingly just not a good basketball coach anymore. You got that. Draymond Green could literally
yeah,
fight or put someone in a headlock every night of the year.
yeah.
All of
Oh
these things could
man,
happen with Steph. Like, you get the drama plus the whole family man thing of Steph and the golf off the court, and you get all
hmm
these things with Steph that I don't. What is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander going to do in Oklahoma City? Like, what do you do for fun?
you know,
Tyrese Halliburton, what do you do for fun in Indiana? Like,
yeah, Indianapolis,
like
yeah,
I know Minnesota was tough for Ant, but Ant is one of one. Like, he's so entertaining just
yeah,
on his own. Like, I'm from Alabama, so the Georgia boys, like, they all act like that. And it just brought me right back home. Like, I just knew where I
yeah,
was instantly with Anthony Edwards in the room. Like, just, he's always talking shit. He's hilarious. He's playing video games all the time because he's a child. Like,
yeah. On Thanksgiving,
yeah,
yeah,
it was awesome. Like,
just
he's just like,
wild.
one more game. How long is that going to take? I don't know. 45 minutes, an
Yeah,
hour.
his pregnant
He just left them all
pregnant
there, and
girlfriend
they're
is
all
like,
just
I'm
having
hungry.
Thanksgiving. He's like, yeah, let me finish the game. James Harden is the one that I'm interested to see in this. Everyone else, I'm like, sure, I'll probably enjoy the KD because how many more KD seasons are we getting? So I'll enjoy
Yeah,
it just because
similar
it's
vein.
there.
Yeah,
But I'm going to enjoy it regardless because it's going to be basketball content leading into the basketball season next year. So I'm going to watch this, and I'm going to watch it in detail, and I'm going to put my phone down. I'm not going to scroll Twitter while I'm watching it. Like, I'm going to do it. I just
yeah,
feel like we missed Joel Embiid, and then Steph Curry. Like, if you just added those two and took away, I don't know, Jaylen Brown, because we already did a Celtic, and then either Tyrese or Shea, you take one of those guys away, you put Embiid and Curry in there. That's an incredible lineup. Love that lineup, but this one not so
yeah,
much good on it. But I'll watch anyway.
yeah. Do you want to do predictions for the next 5,
Oh, for the
or do
next
you want to
season?
save that for once the season's done?
No,
Because I think Luca would also be pretty entertaining.
I don't think he'll do it. Him and Jokic just don't
No,
seem
I
like
don't think
they'll
so
ever
either.
do that. But there is a Maverick that I think
But they want the
would.
camera. Who? Who?
Derek Lively.
Oh, that'd be pretty fun.
Third year in the league,
Yeah, that's
kind of the third year leap. He's already a top I don't know, 10, 12 center in the game right now. Like, he's awesome. Like, he's a very good player. I think he'd be entertaining.
Yeah.
I think Paolo, you got to have him in next season. You get those two guys.
You got to have a young guy.
You got to have one or two young guys because they got Halliburton and Shea. And then you got to have, like, if we can get Curry next season. So let's do Curry, Paolo, Derek Lively. I don't know where you go. You got to have a Nick. There's got to be a Nick in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I look at these shows, or at least this one in particular, is like, what am I going to learn about a guy I don't care for?
Yeah, so
that like might make me like them.
Right.
Yeah. Either I don't care about them at all, or I like don't like them, like dislike them. And Cat is kind of that guy for me. Like, I don't really care for Cat, the basketball player.
Scotty Barnes.
He gets on my nerves. He seems soft. Scotty Barnes. Yeah. I can't stand Scotty Barnes because I think about the Raptors all the time.
Yeah. Give me a Nick and Scotty Barnes.
We somehow... Yeah, you got me on here and we avoided talking about it this whole time, so you're welcome. But I wouldn't hate seeing someone like Jalen Green on a show like this. I just think he's got the talking thing is a little annoying sometimes because he has this like kind of shy, just like doesn't really enunciate his words thing going on. But he just has this kind of like, as the kids say, aura. And I think he could be good TV.
No, I'm not going to lie to you. Jalen Green's like, headshot went across my brain when I was thinking of players to put on this starting five. I was like, Jalen Green, no.
He'd be so marketable.
Yeah, he would.
You're like, I can't say it.
The problem is, a lot of people just don't watch Houston Rockets basketball because, one, you're not on national television a lot right now, and two, you don't have a James Harden or just a superstar on your team right now. Jalen Green could be that. I know we've had a week of Jalen Green, and he's done really well. He's had some really good games and everything, but... Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know enough about Jalen Green. So, that would work for this. So, I'll take it. And then we get a little bit of Texas rivalry because then you get the Lively versus Jalen Green matchups. Get a block on him. He hits a step-back three on Derek Lively. You just get the back and forth going through the game with both mics on. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that is fun. It's a fun angle. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a fun show.
I hope we get a season 3. Hope it doesn't get canceled or Netflix runs out of money before then, which... very could happen. I don't know. Print money just like it doesn't exist. But Netflix starting 5 season 2. Looking forward to it. Kind of not really, but we'll watch. Zero Gravity. It's Apollo NBA's podcast. So we've just had a full week of basketball, and I can't wait to watch. I don't know how many more weeks there are in the season, but it feels like all of them.
A lot.
Wemby had a 20 rebound game, and I was just baffled when he had 20 against y'all. 20 rebounds. I know he didn't play super well, but 20 rebounds is a lot. He had 9 against the Mavericks.
Was that the second game or the first game?
I think it was the second game 2 nights ago.
Yeah. He did not play super well offensively, but I mean, he was still himself.
He's just getting rebounds
as a rim deterrent and grabbing boards. So whatever, took an L.
Yeah, it is what it is. But we'll have to get you on the Summit State of Mind, our Rockets podcast with Kenny and Justin one day, so y'all can talk full Rockets for 45 minutes and be happy that way. But on Apollo NBA's podcast, we can't do that all the time. Zero Gravity, we talk about everybody. We try to. There's only so much time in the day, and there's so much time to talk about NBA basketball on this podcast. But this has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast. Sheldon, thank you for joining me. Shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go check them out today if you're in the Houston area, and go check out Celebrity Mint at celebritymint.com. You can see their collectibles of Mike Tyson, Pete Rose, Ric Flair, Jamal Shedd, Houston legend. They're all there. Go get your collectibles for your office, put it behind you, put it in front of you, wherever you want. Go get those collectibles from celebritymint.com using code APOLLO, HOU. Sheldon, thanks for being here. Thanks for covering Apollo NBA podcast. How'd we do?
Happy to be here. Love it.
We'll be back soon with Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast.